it's for the graphic that we put up when you guys are.
Okay, if we're gonna, are we ready to begin? If you're not ready, let me know. We're gonna go ahead and reconvene the meeting. We're gonna begin the land use hearings at this time. Feel free to take it away, staff.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. So this is the Midtown Filing 7 case. So again, staff is going to request a continuance to the January 26, 2016 meeting. As you may recall, this one was previously continued from the December 15th meeting. The purpose of that was to allow the applicant time to provide collateral that staff could review, which is a requirement of a subdivision. So the applicant was unable to furnish those documents, but the applicant is here if you have any additional questions. But today, our recommendation is a continuance.
Do I have a motion to continue this case?
So moved.
Can I just clarify that the meeting on the 26th will now be an evening meeting, just so that that's clear on the record?
Yeah, I don't think we want land use, our evening meeting as in it's going to be with our gas and oil meeting? No, I
The other
think,
alternative is to have two public hearings that day, if that's your preference.
or have two public hearings that week,
Would everyone be okay with two public hearings that week? Yes.
It doesn't have to be that.
Or even that day?
Yes, that week.
Tedesco? You okay with that, sir?
I'm fine.
All right, so let's, can we do we'll still do our regular public hearing during the morning on deal with
And our study sessions.
in our study sessions, and then that evening it'll be
Or another evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday evening.
Yeah,
Monday.
Wednesday evening is an event that's already planned that you will be hosting, the,
at
Yeah.
dinner.
That was Thursday. What about
That's
Wednesday? Or that's Wednesday, okay, about Thursday, Friday,
Public.
Monday?
yeah, Planning Commission is Thursday.
Okay, what about Friday and Monday?
Mondays.
There is, on Monday, there's the rulemaking sessions for oil and gas.
there you go.
And so,
That could help.
How about
Tuesday.
Friday?
Tuesday's really bad for Eva Henry, it sounds
I
like.
just, I'm looking at a 12-hour day for all of us, and I know the public hearing's going to go for a good 9 hours.
I'm willing to clear my calendar for whatever's appropriate on
Okay,
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night it is, 3 in the
All right.
morning. Well, sounds good.
Okay, so I have a motion to continue and a second to continue to the 26th. Let's go ahead and vote. Is there something else?
You had a motion, but you did not have a
Oh,
second.
I thought I had a second. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Tedesco,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Odoricio.
Yes. Okay, moving along. Next case?
Yeah, the next case is RCU 2015-37 Hudson Solar Garden. Greg Barnes, case manager, will be handling this one.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sorry about the delay. This case is an application for a conditional use permit by Hudson Community Garden Solar Garden LLC. The property would be located at 5900 Hudson Road. The request is to allow a major energy facility in the form of a solar garden on the parcel. The parcel is highlighted in blue in the center of the screen. It's located to the southeast of Denver International Airport and to the west of Front Range Airport, northeast of the intersection of 56th Avenue and Hudson Road. The property is zoned A3, and it is surrounded by other properties that are zoned A3. One property is zoned DIA, and the City of Aurora's zoning district to the east or to the west and the south is Northeast Plains General. The land use plan designation is mixed-use employment for this parcel. To give context of the site, this image was taken at the site looking west toward Hudson Road. Hudson Road is located on the other side of the grain silos and the earthen berm. This image looks east toward the interior of the parcel. There are utility lines that bisect the middle of the property, running north to south. This image is looking to the south toward 56th Avenue. The portion of the solar garden is about 2,000 feet from the right-of-way along 56th Avenue. This is Hudson Road, looking to the south toward the intersection. And this is looking north toward Denver International Airport. This image was taken from 56th Avenue into the site. You can see the grain silos off into the distance, and the proposed solar garden would be located just to the right of that. Section 11-314 of our development standards defines a major energy facility, and our use chart table in 371 of the development standards requires that in an A3 zone district, a conditional use be obtained for a major energy facility. Staff sent property notices to all property owners within a half-mile of the site, and we received no unfavorable comments from property owners or external agencies regarding this application. Section 2286 of our development standards lists the criteria for approval of a conditional use. Staff reviewed the criteria. It has determined that criteria number 4, which addresses compatibility, that the proposal is compatible with the general area. The property is surrounded by vacant agricultural and very low density residential uses. There was also an approved solar garden along Imboden Road, just located to the south and east of this property. Criterion number 6 addresses any environmental constraints the property may have. The parcel as a whole is 320 acres, and the SunShare proposal for a solar garden is approximately 20 acres located to the north and west of that parcel. So there is plenty of room for the proposal. At the top of this slide shows the proposed site plan for the conditional use. And as you can see, the solar panels would be installed in a north-south pattern across the site. So in conclusion, staff has determined that this proposal does meet the criteria for approval. On December 10th, 2015, the Planning Commission heard this proposal. There was discussion in regard to landscaping, fencing, and the expiration date of the proposal. In terms of landscaping, the Planning Commission determined that the portions of this proposal are so far from the street right-of-way that a condition was considered and recommended to forego any required landscaping at the perimeter of the proposal. A security fence was required of at least 6 feet in height, and the expiration date was settled for the end of 2037, which would make the proposal 21 years. The Planning Commission recommended approval with 1 condition precedent and 4 conditions. I have included a slide which lists those conditions for your reference, and that concludes the staff presentation.
Commissioners, do you have any questions? I have a question. The 20-year expiration, correct?
That's correct.
Is it necessary to be 20, or would 10 be sufficient?
The applicant had requested a lifespan of at least 20 years for the site. Staff has determined that, given the general area, it's not likely that utilities are available for development in the near future. So it was recommended to the Planning Commission that the condition be set for 20 years. The applicant requested 21 and a few months to allow for setup and decommission of the site.
And the reason I ask is because I'm usually fairly reluctant to sign on to very long durations for conditional use permits. And I guess I will continue with some other comments or concerns about that afterwards, after this, after the public has a chance to speak. Would the applicant like to come up and speak?
Thank you. You probably saw that I was
If you
antsy back
could-
there.
If you could state your name and your
Yes.
address for the record,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
John Sullivan from SunShare, 1441 18th Street, Suite 400, Denver. And I do have a little presentation. I'll go through it quickly because you guys are used to me by now. This is my third project in Adams County. Thank you. So this is our Imboden 1 solar project, which you may have seen or driven by. Okay. So thank you, staff. Thanks, everyone, for your help. So a solar garden is a little different than your average utility scale solar array. The energy is going to help all of our subscribers. So our average subscriber base will be dozens of residents. So there'll be dozens of Adams County residents. 5% of the garden is donated to low-income communities. And then on our previous Imboden 1 solar project, our subscribers were Adams 12 and 14 School District, Highland Hills Water District, City of Arvada, City of Westminster, and Adams County itself. So we imagine a similar subscriber base for this solar garden we're proposing. Of course, economic stimulation, and then clean, silent, emission-free energy, which I think is a nice change. So steps we've taken to plan the project, Greg alluded to a lot of these, but we have positive comments from all the stakeholder groups. I won't go through all of them, but I did want to say that we're leasing the land from the Linneber family, which you may know, they have a lot of land holdings and do a lot of farming in the area. So they're really looking forward to the project just from a revenue perspective, and Frank Linneber in particular is just excited about it just from a renewable energy and looking to the future perspective. We did have a neighborhood meeting. We had about 12 people show up. They were all asking questions about how to become subscribers. They didn't really have any questions about the actual project characteristics. You know the location. It's on Hudson Road. That's why we call it the Hudson Solar Garden. The parcel usage, we're that blue rectangle. To the west are some grain silos, and to the west along Hudson Road are some Excel distribution lines, and we'll be tapping those lines to the west. To the east are Excel transmission lines. We won't be connecting to those. They're too big for us electrically. And to the south, it's just undeveloped, but there are some oil and gas easements that we have to design around. Here's our site plan. I just wanted to highlight that we are 400 feet from the road to our fence line and 700 feet from the road to our first solar panels. On the south side, we're 2,000 feet from 56 to our fence line, so quite a bit further away than our previous projects, which I think is good for the visual mitigation. The equipment we propose, just like the other projects, are single-axis tracker solar panels. They're about 6 to 8 feet tall. They track east to west from the sun every day. On the bottom picture there, you can kind of see what the entire site would look like. Most of the site would be solar panels. And then at a few central locations, we'd have inverters and other electrical equipment. We went through the conditions precedent. We are okay with all the recommendations and conditions. The first one would be to dedicate a right-of-way to City of Aurora. We're okay with that. The second condition would be a 21-year CUP, and I just want to talk about that one for a second. The state law and the interconnect agreements and the subscriber agreements that we sign are all 20-year agreements. So we couldn't do a 10-year conditional use permit. It would break the project, wouldn't be able to finance it. So everything has to line up with that 20-year increment. So we requested 21-year just so we could have that one extra year to build the system and then decommission it on the back end. Okay. Condition of approval number 2, the fence, the industry standard and the standard required by the National Electric Code is a 6-foot security fence, and that's generally a chain link fence due to it's strong. It won't deteriorate over the 20-year life, so no maintenance will be required. If it were a cedar screening fence, there would be ongoing maintenance. It blows down, pickets blow away. It just we would be maintaining the fence more than the solar project itself. So we requested just the industry standard 6-foot chain link fence, and planning staff was okay with that. Conditions of approval 3 and 4, a waiver of the landscaping requirements. We were okay with the landscaping requirements on those first 2 projects in Imboden 1 and Imboden 2. That project was much closer to the road. It was 70 feet from the road. This project's 400 feet to the fence line, 700 feet to the solar panels. So due to the cost of the landscaping plus the different site situation, we would like to waive this. Planning staff agreed. The last condition is just at the end of the system life that we decommission the system and restore the land back to its original state, and we're okay with that. Our lease says that as well, so it's definitely our intention. So landscape buffering, the picture on the right here is our Imboden 1 project. You can see the screening fence, the cedar fence, and then you can see the trees that are intended to screen the project. I'm saying that they have very little effect and want to waive them. So landscaping increases the project in installation and maintenance costs. Landscaping requires water to thrive. It's required that we'd put in an irrigation well. And I'm saying that that would deplete groundwater resources for agriculture. The Adams County Comp Plan places a priority on water conservation. And so overall, I'm just motioning to waive this requirement. I know cost isn't one of your considerations when making motions and voting, but I just wanted to highlight this for a big reason. On the left-hand side, I showed the costs of landscaping and setting up the irrigation well for our first project. The first project was 8 megawatts in size, and all said and done, it cost us about $60,000 to set up that landscaping plan. And so that's $60,000 spread across an 8 megawatt project. This project we're proposing today is 2 megawatts, and it has worse economics on it. First of all, it's much smaller, so it can't bear that same cost. And the other reason is we're selling that electricity to Xcel for a much lower rate than we were for the other projects. The industry's become more competitive, and so it's we just have to drive down our electricity costs, and therefore we have less margin on this project. So all in all, if landscaping were required, because of the cost of the well for that landscaping, it would be the tipping point in this project, and we'd have to kill it. So a pretty significant landscaping consideration for us. Screen fencing, again, the west fence line would be 400 feet from the road. The south fence line would be 2,000 feet from the road. This is a picture from from 56th Avenue looking into the site to the north. You can see the grain silos, which are 25 feet tall, about 12 feet in diameter, and you can barely see them on the horizon. We're talking about equipment that's about 8 feet in height, so I don't think it would be visible from 56th. So that's the end of my presentation. I want to do, well, thank you for your time. We're requesting a 21-year conditional use permit. I like to end on this photo just to, again, reiterate the size of a human next to the solar panels, and those humans would be 2,000 feet away, and I think not visible from the road. So, yes. Try to go quick. I know you guys are trying to
No,
get
I
out of
appreciate
here.
it. Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Setbacks are much better than the oil wells, so thank you.
Yes. There is an oil well in the right next to those grain silos. You can't quite see it, but yeah.
If there's no questions for the applicant, I'm going to open this up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a comment or ask questions? Has anyone signed up, Erica?
No.
Okay, at this time, do I hear a motion or discussion? From my colleagues.
Chairman Odorizio, I just want to ask, are the motions, is the motion that you had up here correct in what you are asking for? Or are you asking for some of those?
The Planning Commission and the conditions precedent, I think, captured what we're asking for.
So this here,
Exactly.
one condition precedent, 4 conditions, right?
Yes, yep.
But you're asking for 21-year, this is a 20-year, right?
Well, it expires at the, it's 20 years and 11 months, and we're okay with that.
Can I ask someone to clarify what the motion is?
So our recommendation here is for a condition precedent, as you see here, prior to the issuance of the change of use permit, the applicant shall provide the right-of-way dedication to the city of Aurora. The
You don't have to
20-year
read
and
the whole
11-month.
thing. We have it in front of us,
The
we can read it.
20-year and 11-month conditional use permit term, which would then expire from the day of this approval, presumably, would expire December 31, 2037, and then a waiver of all landscaping screening that would ordinarily be required so that the applicant would only then install the security fence of at least 6 feet in height.
My question again is this all covered in the 1 condition precedent and 4 conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then so moved. Yes.
Right?
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Altericio.
Yes. All right, congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with your project.
Thanks.
Are there any other cases or issues to be addressed? No? All right, we will be adjourned.